Hi folks. So yesterday I had a problem with the WPForms form builder plugin, which is an otherwise excellent form builder plugin for WordPress. And diagnosing this involved using some WordPress command line interface stuff from wp-cli, doing some wp-cron and looking in a database. And so I thought it might be worth spending a few minutes looking over what this problem was and how I diagnosed it, and maybe there's some useful stuff in there for you. So I have a local copy here of my personal website, and I've just created a simple contact form using WPForms. And if I just type a sample message in there and then hit the submit button, that logs the form entry in the website database. And then I'm using a tool called HELO, which is a bit like MailHog if you use MailHog. It's a tool that runs locally and intercepts emails that are sent from local development environments. And so I can open up this email here inside HELO, and HELO is this is a beta of HELO. It's not available yet. It's from Marcel Posio, who is in the Laravel community, and I'm sure you'll see me tweeting about it when it's ready to be used. But in here you can see the email that gets sent, and this is all fine and it arrived instantly. Now, what happened was there was an update to WPForms. So if I go into my dashboard here, I've actually got this all set up ready to go. So I can update WPForms. And now that's done, I can go back to the contact form. Let's reload it. Oh, not quite like that. Okay, and let's put our contact information in again. And that's all fine. I've got the success message, but I haven't had a notification and nothing has arrived in HELO. Actually, I'm going to turn my notifications off from now on. So I haven't got another entry in here, nothing else arrived. And I was kind of like, why has this happened? What has changed? And my initial thought was maybe it's because there's something wrong with my WordPress mail or my local mail. So I logged out and I tried to run a password reset. And sure enough, in HELO, the password reset came in. That's all just fine. So email from WordPress is working. So it's something specific to the contact form. And it turns out that what WPForms have done is they've implemented for their email sending something called Action Scheduler, which looks like it's related to WooCommerce, possibly made by the WooCommerce team, I'm not sure. And this does job queuing inside WordPress. So rather than the email being sent immediately by WPForms, it gets put on a queue and it's processed in the background using the wp-cron system, which is like a fake job scheduler. And what this means normally is that the email wouldn't be sent instantaneously. It would have to wait until a minute has passed and the next page gets loaded. So on a busy site, you would barely notice, but on a quiet site or a local dev site, you might not see that email straight away at all. So I had a bit of back and forth with WPForms support and found out that they started using this action scheduler, but I was still a bit baffled as to why it wasn't working. So what I then needed to do was investigate wp-cron, and there are some great plugins for doing that. But actually, I can use the wp-cli to look at what's in cron. So I can do wp-cron event list, and that will show me all of my cron events. And now I know that Action Scheduler is being used, I can look in this list for something related to Action Scheduler. And sure enough, there's Action Scheduler run queue. And it's actually next run time is now. So that should be running. And if I were to hit my website and load a page on my website here, I should trigger that wp-cron. But if I do the event list again, we'll see all of these events are still set to run now. So this tells me that my wp-cron isn't running. And probably what we'll find is that if I were to do a manual cron run, how do I do that? Let's do wp help cron. And I can do wp-cron event. So wp help cron event. and I can run a particular event. So let's say I wanted to try and run WP update themes. I can do wp-cron event run. Now you'll see my command line is suggesting I put -- due now, which will run all the jobs that are due now. I just want to try running this one event. So let's do that. And then let's do the event list. And we can see WP update themes that we ran is now due to run in 1 hour 35. So definitely something wrong with running these cron jobs in my local dev environment, which is running Laravel Valet. Now it turns out that there is a kind of bug in Laravel Valet where this person here has logged a bug. They're using WP control and none of their cron jobs are running, and there's a whole discussion here about that and how you might be able to fix that. But that basically is a problem that my WP cron isn't running because my website can't do what's called the loopback HTTP request, and we can actually do WP cron test. Oops, helps if I type that right. Just check the command I want to use. Test should work. Oh yeah, so WP cron test did work, and I got an error. WP cron spawn failed with error. Could not resolve roswintle.test, domain name not found. So it's not able to WordPress running on my local Laravel Valet setup is not able to resolve its own domain name. So that's the problem, and that's why WP cron isn't running. And what I can then do is I can then say, okay, well, let's run all of the jobs. What was it? Event run, and then we can run all of those due jobs. So that's going to do a whole load of stuff, which is kind of interesting. And we should now see, if we do the event list, that everything has been run and the next run is all queued up, including our action scheduler, which will send off any emails. So I should now be able to go back to the form page on my website. Where was that? That one there. Just reload it for good measure. And we should see, so I put a different message in here so we can check it comes through. We'll submit that, and rightly we won't get that immediately, but you might be wondering, where has that message gone and where can we see all the messages that are queued up? So I use a tool called Querious to query my databases, and in here I can see all of the tables in my local copy of the database. And what's happened, Action Scheduler has added in here some Action Scheduler tables, and we can see here in the logs all of the activity that Action Scheduler is doing gets logged in here. So this is great. I can see all of this stuff. We can see an action created, and the last one here will have been that email that gets created. We can see that in the log, but we can also see it in the action table here. We can see we've got a WPForms process entry emails. I think that's that one's not scheduled. Interesting. Hopefully that's the one that's going to send my email. And so I can see in here all the stuff that accumulates. If I send myself another contact here, test number 3, so we can distinguish it from the others. Let's submit that. Again, that will go into the database and it's now scheduled. So if I switch back to Querious and refresh this table, a new entry appears. This one's pending as well. It's not quite been scheduled yet. It doesn't have a scheduled date and time, which is interesting. Maybe that means it just runs as soon as it possibly can. And yeah, but we can see these jobs accumulating in here. And then what we'll do is we'll go back to the command line and we can do wp-cron event run and run all the due now events. Actually, let's list them first just so we can see. The action scheduler run queue is due now. So I should be able to run all the events that are due now. Notifications are turned off because I'm screen recording, but if we switch back into HELO, we should see I've now got my formatting's a bit weird, but we've got testing again here. Does that come in email? There we go. So we've got the testing again message, and we've got test number 3 message. So they've all come in. So what I can do now is I can find some way to fix wp-cron and make it work, either by figuring out what the problem is with Valet, or I might do something else where I try and manually run all of my cron events using the cron that's built into the Unix or Linux on my Mac. That might be another video worth doing. But hopefully this has been useful. You can see wp-cli being used really, really well here to diagnose what's going on under the bonnet inside WordPress. You can see the use of a database tool like Querious to query what's in the database and find out information that's in there. You can see use of a mail catching tool like HELO for testing all this stuff and finding out which emails WordPress is trying to send from my local development environment. And yeah, all of these things together were a really handy set of tools for diagnosing this problem. So hope you learned something, hope you come across something useful here, and we'll speak to you again soon. Stay safe.